this is very early 90s.
What's the name of the song, Ken?
Yeah, it's Janet Jackson. Let's see if our live community knows this one. Hello, live community, Confidant community. We're back. The Jin and Jackie Ask Us Anything series.
Right.
And I'm playing the retro sounds of Janet Jackson. Does anybody remember this one? It was a lot of head movement, a lot of neck movement. Oh gosh, I always have this happen to me on the live sometimes. So all of a sudden we lost the diva, Janet Jackson.
Yeah.
So I'm working from my office today, in case you can't tell. But we're back for the live, Ask Us Anything. And I've got Jin here. Welcome back, Jin. So good to have you.
Thank you.
Especially for our first live of the month. Can you believe, live community, Confidant community? It's July. The summer has started. It's underway. And we thought, as people kind of get ready for the summer and maybe check out a little bit, we wanted to do like a reminder live on the fact that, hey, you've got lots of things to think about this coming summer. There's lots of things to spend money on, right, Jim?
That's true.
COVID-free summer, like not COVID.
Yeah.
COVID retro summer.
Yeah, time for barbecues and all those outdoor activities.
Exactly. So we just wanted to kind of come back, try to get people thinking about building wealth when they might be spending money over the summer, because that's what you do, right? There's events to go to, outfits to buy for weddings, there's renos to do at home, the garden, there's no endless things to spend money on this summer, Confidant community. And so we kind of wanted to help friendly reminder about a topic very, very close to my heart, and it's about wealth building. So we wanted to talk about why our clients care about building wealth. And you might wonder, again, why did I choose Janet Jackson? That particular song was The Pleasure Principle. So she was talking about the pleasure principle. And in that particular scenario, that was actually when she was 21. It was one of her first breakout songs that she did that made her a major star. And I just thought it was a great way to start the live, is talking about the pleasure principle. What makes you motivated to build wealth? What makes our clients motivated to build wealth? So Jin and I are going to delve into it. Why do our clients make that commitment to themselves? It's really not to us at the end of the day. It's to their future, as far as I'm concerned. So why do they do that? What makes wealth building important for them? What makes wealth building important for you? We'd love to know, what your reasons are for building wealth. And we'll delve into a little bit more. But I wanted to start off by just really introducing that whole concept of the pleasure principle when it comes to building wealth. What keeps you motivated when it comes to building wealth? So we're going to talk a little bit about the different ways that our community builds wealth and how building wealth can really impact you. And really, we're going to share some stories, of course. But before we get into any more details about this, I would love it, Jin, if you could talk a little bit about the financial pyramid and how it relates to building wealth, just to educate our Confidant community a little bit more.
Sure. So the financial pyramid is basically a concept where it talks about different stage of wealth building. So starting up at the bottom, you have the foundation. So this is the stage where you're starting off trying to build foundations and really trying to make your expenses. And then once you have that, you have some more room to prepare for uncertainties, saving for emergencies, and so on.
That's right. And that's what we call in our world, Confidant community, building your financial fortress. So build that financial fortress, give yourself a little bit of breathing room, and then build your fortune, which, at that point, you're talking to your future self about what you want to save.
Exactly. So that once we have that fortress set up, Now we're talking about building the wealth and accumulating to get to the point where we really enjoy the wealth by having a financial freedom and financial independence. And then the last stage, we end up with leaving a legacy to our loved ones.
Exactly. And I think that starting at the bottom and just laying that foundation and then moving to building wealth for your future self is really, really important. And I think, passing it on, like that's something we see as well. Like, so you build wealth, you build the fortress, you build that emergency fund, you build, long-term wealth, preserve it, and then pass it on. These are all really important concepts that we like to talk to our clients about. But it all depends on what stage of life you're in, what actually is important, because building wealth can be very, very different depending on your stage of life. For example, like when you're laying the foundation, it's about just making your ends meet, especially for some people. They might feel like they're in that hamster wheel right now, just making their ends meet with interest rates going up and inflation going up. And you're just trying to keep going. And sometimes it's hard to think about the future when you're in that scenario. So that's one stage. And sometimes it's a life stage. Sometimes it could just be an event that happens that puts you in that scenario. But when you're at the wealth preservation stage, so we're talking as well. So sometimes it's the millennials, Gen Z, so our clients' children that might feel like they're at that wealth building foundation, building their fortress stage. And then our clients who are pre-retirees or retirees might be in that stage where they're just trying to make sure nothing happens to the wealth they've built so far. They want to know that it can grow, but they don't want to take a huge amount of risk with it. And they really want to also look at ways to enjoy their wealth and have some flexibility when it comes to their wealth, don't they, Jin?
Exactly. And as you may already know, the conference community, we work with a lot of lawyers. And, it's a good example to talk about some of the lawyer clients we work with when it comes to what wealth means for them.
Right.
And so we have really two types of lawyers. One, someone who wants to keep working and their wish is to die at their desk.
Yeah. Can you believe that? I just always find it so fascinating when lawyers say to me, oh, I just want to keep working. I just want to die at my desk. Are you a lawyer who wants to die at your desk? We'd love to hear from you because we know at the end of the day, flexibility is still important, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's not just the lawyer clients. We have a lot of other clients who are high achievers at the stage to pick up their careers. They just want to continue to go and just keep going until they no longer can physically. So we have those types of clients. And on the other side, we have clients who want to retire as soon as possible.
Yes. When can I retire? Can I retire tomorrow?
Exactly. Someone who just can't wait to retire, counting every day to retirement. And also someone who wants the flexibility, maybe the current career or being a lawyer is maybe not something they wanted to keep going and wants to look into the option of switch careers or even starting their own business. Yeah. So as you can imagine, having that financial fortress and independence can play a big role on both types of clients. So even if you want to continue to work, it's very different feeling when you are working because you must versus when you're working because you choose to.
Yeah, working if you want to, live community, don't underestimate the mental freedom that having wealth gives you, working because you want to versus working because you have to.
Exactly. So that's what wealth can do for clients in those situations. So having the flexibility, that makes a huge impact on their life and how they enjoy their life as well. And
yeah, go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, and on the other side, obviously, if you're someone who is counting every day to retirement, reaching the financial independence is your D-Day to really resign and be done with the work and go on to enjoy your retirement. So.
Yeah, and I just don't think you can underestimate the importance of having financial independence. And it's not just at a job. I've had clients. I had a particular client I worked with before who was married, and she came to me and she said, and this was somebody who was referred to me. She said to me, I want to know that I'm in a position that if I, so confidant community, this is really confidential, right? She said if I could leave my husband, she actually wanted me to do a financial plan to see if she left her husband, if she would be financially okay or not. She just wanted to know. So having a financial independence in a relationship is also important. Knowing that financially you're okay in a relationship, whether you choose to stay or not, that's one thing. But knowing that you'll be okay if you do leave, that was something that was really important to her. And again, real on the real confidant community, because again, I'll talk to you, I'll share with you. That's why you're my community, because I'm going to be real on the real. She never left her husband. She just wanted to know that if financially she was in a position that she could be independent. I think it was that mental stress of, again, being somewhere because she wanted to be, not because she had to be. That, like, having that financial independence, especially because a lot of women have a lot of worries about being on their own, either suddenly or if they choose to be, could they financially be okay? And that was the mental stress we were able to relieve for her.
Exactly. And also, that's something where once you know you're financially okay, it really helps you focus on the non-financial side of the relationship, which is something where your decision should be based most out of our relationships, right? So
exactly, and that way you're in the relationship for the right reasons, right?
exactly.
So those are some of the things I've seen in my 25-year career. I could write a book, but we'll just leave it at that for today.
Yeah.
And let's talk about another example, because again, we talked about a lawyer who might want financial freedom, someone who's in a relationship who feels financially tied to the relationship because they don't know if financially they're strong enough to be on their own, if they're able to be financially independent. But let's talk about some other examples, because again, wealth means different things to different people, doesn't it, Jen?
Yes, 100%. So far, we really talked about enjoying the wealth for yourself. But at the same time, it could mean giving your wealth and sharing it with your loved ones. And so instead of, we had clients who are well into their retirement, really enjoying their time. And then during one of our review meetings, we realized the client actually has more than enough they need for their retirement. That's a really good feeling to have. And after that, their next thought was right on to, can we actually share some of this wealth to our children while we are alive instead of waiting for us to pass this on after we die. This way, they can really see their children enjoy the wealth. And as planner, what we did was we ran some scenarios to see how much it was they can actually give to their children without having to sacrifice any of their retirement lifestyle.
Exactly. And, for that particular client, I'm thinking about one particular client right now that I helped in the same scenario, Jen. And what that meant is they could hand some cash to their children who are in a different stage of life where wealth means something totally different to them. It might mean being able to pay down the mortgage, right? Their mortgage. So they get a chance to see their child who's struggling with their mortgage. They see their parents retired having the good life, and then they're going, oh my gosh, mom and dad, yeah, we're struggling with this mortgage payment. And so they were able to provide their children with some cash to pay down their mortgage, which just meant they could see their children have an easier time at saving for their own retirement as they were able to reduce what they owed on their mortgage. And that was something invaluable. I keep asking them, when do I get to, and then they all went on a vacation. I'm like, what about the planner? What do we what happened to me? I don't remember being invited to this vacation that we helped happen with the whole family going on a vacation and paying down the mortgage. But, honestly, in all seriousness, the fact that we were able to not wait till they die and hopefully, they see their kids make good decisions with the funds they leave behind, but they could actually see in real time the impact on what their wealth could do for their family was a game changer.
Exactly, Jackie. We should have wrote a letter to their children and
I
asked them to
contacted
treat you a nice dinner.
you know me you know me I'm like, so because I know we have a lot of clients who we also work with their parents, so I call the kids. I'm like, so what's going on, like, you guys, I told your parents they could give you money. I don't remember getting a thank you card or
Or a
or a
nice
dinner
feedback.
invitation. But it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah,
Honestly, we get
yeah,
so much satisfaction
yeah.
from seeing our clients get to, really enjoy their wealth. Now
Exactly.
we've talked again about, clients in different stages, and we were talking a little bit about that, client who might be a retiree dealing with their children who might be millennials or Gen Xers struggling with their mortgage payments. At the end of the day, that's why having that breathing room, if you're someone who is in that stage of life where maybe you're feeling the pinch of inflation, maybe you're feeling the pinch of higher interest rates, building that cushion. I can never say enough about having that financial fortress, just so you've got that in place already, so that you're not reliant more on debt, which creates this vicious cycle of being, guess what, more reliant on debt. So having that cushion ahead of time. I mean, we've talked about this in other lives where, people during the COVID pandemic might have realized how important having a cushion was. We have future uncertainties that we don't know what they're going to be yet. So building that foundation, it truly is a foundation, because it means it keeps your fortress, it keeps your current situation secure. We never know what might happen. So having that cushion might mean you have that cushion that you don't go into debt. And then when your mortgage renews, you can, reorganize your debt to make it much more affordable for you. So again, it's really having that breathing room, having that peace of mind, so that if something out of the blue happens, your first line of defense is your savings, your fortress, versus going into debt. Right,
Yep,
Jen?
that's right.
So, what are some other wealth building strategies what wealth building goals that some of our clients tell us about?
So we also have personally worked with some clients where they're in a really great shape. They're done paying off the mortgage. They have enough money to retire, and they're still relatively in their younger age.
Right.
So once they pretty much checked off all their financial goals they had initially when they started working with Jackie a while ago, and now it's for them to really start thinking about what more they can do with the wealth they have built.
And that's an amazing feeling, right? Is
It
to,
is. It is.
what else can I do? What else can I
Exactly.
do with my
Exactly.
wealth? Because that means the goals that they've set for themselves, check, check. They've achieved them. And that is something that, clients, when we see clients in that scenario, they are so excited because they never imagined, first of all, that they'd be in a position where they would have achieved the goals that they've set for themselves, never mind be in a position to now discuss new goals. Right, Jen?
100%. 100%. So it could mean something like, imagine you are in those shoes. Think about what you could do with your wealth. So it could mean something like doing a major renovation in your home, right?
Hmm.
And taking on the vacation you always thought about, taking maybe some years, some times off, creating your own personal sabbatical off the work, or even retiring as early as you can.
Yeah, I think that's one that I found we've had some really great conversations around. It's like, okay, you can either have a nicer retirement, maybe you have more cash flow to enjoy, have a more enjoyable retirement. So maybe instead of taking one trip a year, you can take two trips a year, or you might take your favorite child or grandchild with you. So it just gives people, to me, it's that being able to help people reimagine the possibilities of what their wealth can do. It's a game, like I said, it's a huge game changer. And one of the things at TJP, Team Jackie Porter, that we love to do is showing people what these potential possibilities are. Now, not everyone is in that scenario, and no shame, no gain, no shame, no blame if you're not in that scenario. There, we were talking about the the clients who potentially millennials, or maybe you're just someone who got caught out there and didn't save that financial fortress you were hoping to, or maybe you did, but it ran out because again, scenarios can be unpredictable at times. Or, another wealth building strategy or goal is for clients who recognize that they're at that stage where they have not built up the wealth they had hoped to build up. That's what life insurance is for, Confidant community. So, life insurance at the end of the day is risk sharing. So if you haven't yet built up that wealth that you were hoping to for yourself and for your family, that insurance policy is going to create that wealth for the loved ones that you leave behind so that they can have the lifestyle that you had imagined for them. And I just can't stress that enough because, we see the impact when there's insurance to do that for families because they've planned for these things. They plan for the fact that life, as we know, it can be very uncertain. But I've also, in my 25 years of doing this, have seen the impact when clients don't plan for these things. They mean to, it gets delayed, it gets deferred. They're like, yeah, we're going to get to it. Something happens. Again, life's unpredictable. And maybe as a result of that, the wealth that they were hoping to leave for their family doesn't happen. And it creates potentially a generational impact on that family.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Jackie. Yeah. So especially so think about, let's say you're still in your 20s and you are the best asset for yourself right now.
Yeah.
Getting into situations like disability without any fortress built, that could mean like you're losing one of the biggest assets you have, and having protection around that. It's probably I put it as the number one financial goals for those who are still in the foundations or building fortress stage of their wealth. And
because there's two scenarios, right? There's creating that wealth for your family, which is the life insurance part, and then there's maintaining that wealth for you, which is the income replacement, critical illness, disability part. So you just kind of want to make sure you understand, again, what wealth means to you, what stage you are in your life in terms of your wealth building journey. And, we're talking today about the importance of wealth building, recognizing it's different for different people. And that's why we ask, because I would love if you could post in the comments, who are you building wealth for? Is it for yourself? What does saving, building wealth mean to you? Because it is a commitment that you're making to your future self, and it's challenging. And sometimes it's more challenging than other times, right? Where we were talking about the summer and this time of the year, there's especially after 2 years of being locked down, and once a part of the summer we had to stay inside. This is the first summer where everything's open and looks like it's going to stay open, right? So people might have all kinds of plans, summer plans, vacations, renos, et cetera, et cetera. So there's lots of things that can get in the way of building wealth. So what is important to you is often what keeps people motivated. It's kind of like starting a diet, and what does weight loss mean to you? Why not eat that cookie when it's super tempting to? Well, it may be because you want to reach a certain weight goal. Same thing. Why not spend that money? It's because you want to reach a certain financial goal. And if you are someone, because we recognize that, it's easier sometimes said than done when it comes to wealth building. So if you're someone who often struggles with building wealth, or you want to sort of reassess your wealth building goals, feel free, reach out to us. We're happy to give you a 30-minute consultation to see how we can help you build wealth. If you're a lawyer, you have access through our connection with Lawyers Financial. You have access to free financial planning, complimentary planning through our Lawyers Financial our associates, our team. So, there's nothing that can stop you if you're truly committed to building wealth. The thing about wealth building, it sometimes it takes time, but at the same time goes quickly, doesn't it, Jin?
It does.
Sometimes when we talk to clients who are close to retirement, they had no idea how quickly those years were going to pass by. And they're like, I don't know if I'm going to have enough saved for my retirement plan. So, That's the reality, is time might feel slow at times passing, and then other times it can move really, really quickly. So it's really important to be intentional about how you use your time, because the great thing about wealth building, especially long-term wealth building, that commitment you're making to your future self, is over time you have that potential to multiply your wealth. So let us talk about that. If you're interested in looking at ways to multiply your wealth, again, reach out to us, reach out to our team. Jody is likely going to put up our contact so that you can contact us to get more information. Confidant community, we're spending this entire month of July discussing building wealth. So feel free, if you like this video, feel free to share. Sharing is caring. And follow us for all of the latest updates on how you can build wealth, or how you can build your financial fortress and your fortune. Thank you again, live community, for tuning into this live. Thanks again, Jin, for showing up and showing out and discussing
Yeah.
this really important subject of wealth building. And we will see you next week for yet another exciting live. Talk soon. Have a great evening,
And
Confidant
have a great
community.
evening and see you next month for
See you
me.
next time.